What if most women are on dating apps simply for free food? Today I want to do something a little bit different. I'm going to go through a couple of the questions that I get asked on my Instagram, and I'm going to answer some of them and then simply free flow and teach you a couple of things this way. So let's address this first one here. What if she only wants free food? Well, obviously there are some women on dating apps who are only on these platforms because they want free food and free dinners. In my opinion, in my experience, over the years coaching men from 30 countries and helping them find the right girlfriend, life partner, or wife, that's a very small percentage. Most women are there with genuine intentions, be that genuine short-term or long-term intentions. You can find both. But women who are digging for gold, food gold or gold, whichever it may be, that's a rather small percentage. But if you want to avoid getting gold dug, let's say you're a man with a busy career, your own business, you're doing well financially, get that handled, but you don't want a woman who wants you just for the money, the lifestyle that you can provide, but for you as a person, just don't do dinners for a first date. It's a ridiculous idea. Can you do dinners? Of course, but I highly recommend against it. I always recommend alcohol-free drinks as a first date. But the way you do it is you simply say, let's meet for drinks one of these days. And then on the date, you tell her that you don't drink alcohol. You don't need to bring that up beforehand. You can just tell her about that on the date. Can you consume the odd alcoholic beverage, gin and tonic, whiskey, Coke, whatever happens to be the poison of your choice? Of course you can, for sure. But the advantage of consuming alcohol-free beverages on a date is twofold. One, you'll develop the skill set of communicating your personality in a confident manner without relying on liquid confidence, an external substance to boost how good you can allow yourself to feel about yourself. That's one. And second, your calibration. You may be temporarily more confident, but you know that people start talking shit when they get drunk. We've all done it. Pardon me, haven't we? We got drunk, or perhaps you consume some weed or whatever it is. And again, I'm a huge, what's the opposite of proponent? I'm absolutely against drugs, and I don't like alcohol and drugs at all, but I also think people should be allowed to do whatever they want. But we've all done it where we consumed that and then we just were a little bit out of tact. And then people told us how we communicated, we slurred our words. Even if you don't do anything mega bad, even if you become like a happy drunk, it's not nice. And women will lose respect for you. So there's so many more benefits to not consuming alcohol at all, or at least on a very rare basis. Yeah, so that's one. Definitely have alcohol-free drinks on a date. Say, let's meet for alcohol-free drinks. And another reason why you want to do drinks as opposed to just dinner, aside from not wanting to be dug for gold, is eating isn't the most attractive activity in and of itself. You're probably going to become, if you're already a little bit in your head, you're worried about how you come across, at least if there's a really attractive woman in front of you, inside out, a beautiful woman inside out, if you already get a bit in your head and you start overthinking, adding this idea of food and whether something may have dripped down in your beard or in your shirt, whether it's just going to put you in your head more. So I'd recommend to just do drinks. And then you might ask, David, well, what do I do on the second date? Drinks. What do I do on the third date? Cooking at your place. Simple as. That's it. So that's how you avoid women gold digging. Obviously, this whole gold digging subject, I think I made a video about that a couple of YouTube videos ago where I go into more depth about that. So check that one out. Next questions, how to get matches on Bumble and Tinder. So if you want to find the right girlfriend, life partner, or wife, you obviously have to have an abundance of high quality options to choose from. Online dating is amazing. I would say more than 50% of my clients meet their girlfriends or wives through Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, Match.com, Badoo, Lovoo, Parship, wherever you happen to be located, whatever happens to be the dating app of your choice. Online dating is absolutely fantastic. I love in person, right? Being able to approach, and we've talked about that at length in a lot of these videos. But online dating gives you the ability to just touch your phone in an intelligent manner, and a beautiful woman appears who wants to get to know you. Think about how magical that is. You can actually touch your phone and a beautiful woman appears. Well, the way you get matches on Tinder and Bumble is you create a profile that shows the attractive qualities about you as a man. It's something that we teach in depth in my coaching program. Apply for a free initial consultation call if you want me to help you with that personally. because your profile needs to be built different than somebody else's. Obviously, there's universal principles of what needs to be shown, how, social proof, lifestyle, status, in an authentic way. But it's going to be different in your case than in somebody else's. And there's blind spots you currently have. If you're not getting matches on Tinder, Bumble, or Hinge, and you're not able to get dates from that, it's not because these apps don't work. If you don't know how to use a knife to cut bread or to cook, it's not because the knife doesn't work. The knife works very well for Gordon Ramsay. Why doesn't it for you? Because he has a skill set you don't possess. Very simple. The good thing is you can learn it. And it's not something that you have to do forever. You do it for a short period of time until you get a sufficient amount of dates, and then you find somebody, and then you go in a relationship. It doesn't necessarily get more difficult than that. Obviously, there's a bit more depth to it, but in essence, that's really what it is. And it's important for you to understand that you want to portray yourself in an authentic way. There's a couple of people who like to brag. You got a watch, you got that 15K watch. Women don't care. If you want to get disappointed really quickly, wear fancy shit and watch how little women care. It's actually a really beautiful thing that you notice that women don't really care. Fernandina, do men care? Do women care? Do you care? Not women in general, but do you care about if a guy, obviously not you anymore, but before you met me, you've met the most handsome, attractive, gorgeous, intelligent man, ginger, on earth. Did you care whether men, wear watches or not? Did that make any difference to you?
No.
You can't see it, no. But why doesn't it? Is it not cool if a guy has a big fancy watch and it's expensive?
I don't even know the brand.
She doesn't. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
I wouldn't notice if it was a Rolex or anything else.
See? Amazing. Beautiful. That's the kind of woman you want to have. Most women won't even know the brand. You can impress other business guys. You can impress other men. And in a business context, it may make sense to wear watches. But the right type of woman won't even recognize a brand. She doesn't know whether it's a 200 euro watch or a 45K watch. She wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So wear it if you want to. If it makes you feel good, no problem. But just don't expect her to care. Don't brag. Don't talk about it. Like, don't mention fancy things at all, because it's going to make you come across as self-qualifying and too try hard. And remember, you want to communicate like a man would who has a lot of options. And do you think a man with a lot of high quality options would care to try to impress her with fancy things? No, he absolutely wouldn't. And in fact, he'd try to do the opposite. He'd try to show her, look, these are all the reasons why you shouldn't. Not verbatimly, but he'd make it abundantly clear that he doesn't care. She just took off her top and she starts sunning herself. Obviously, we're not going to put that in the camera. Why do you need to distract me right now? How am I supposed to be able to focus on providing value for these guys when you're out here looking sexy? No, you're not going to do that. That is for me only. She's like, I'm going to do that. No, you won't do that. What the hell was I talking about? Not bragging. Thank you so much. See, like if you want to find the right girlfriend, life partner, or wife who distracts you, just keep in mind, like there's not just advantages to having an amazing woman in your life, especially if she's attractive. It can become quite distracting for a short period of time, and then it'll become a normal part of your life, and you'll get used to it. A little side tangent before I go back to the bragging thing. Some men think, oh, but what about my productivity? I don't have time to find the right girlfriend, life partner, or wife. Nonsense. You have 112 waking hours available to yourself every single week if you sleep 8 hours per night. If you sleep 8 hours per night, you have 112 waking hours available to yourself. Even if you work a lot, 60 to 70, like real work hours, not just mental masturbation. I'm sitting in front of a computer and I'm logging productivity hours so I can feel good at the end of the day when I stare at Trello or whatever. No, actual real productivity. You have 5 to 10 hours. You easily have 5 to 10 hours available to yourself every single week to go out there, work on your communication skills. Somebody's deflating a boat over there. That's what that noise is. It's not Third World War in Germany. Don't worry, it's all good. Another side tangent. And by the way, if I go off on side tangents, it's not because I'm unable to focus, but because you, in a dating context, need to be able to jump subjects very quickly, because you're probably very logical and concise with your communication. Once a certain conversational thread has been entered, so to speak, you rarely deviate from that, which is useful in a professional and business context because people want to take you serious and there's a point that needs to be conveyed. But in a dating context, you got to be able to change subjects very quickly, which almost makes me feel a little bit autistic at times because if you switch from, in a social context, you got to be able to switch from one subject to the next because it doesn't matter. Not like a crazy person, but being able to leave conversational threads behind and integrate a degree of man-to-woman connection and jump to something else is quite entertaining because emotions die off very quickly. And again, in a business context, you're not emotionally driven. It's quite a logical environment. But remember, dates are all about fun and emotion. So going back to this Third World War thing, Fernanda and I and my mother, we were here exactly in the spot a couple of days ago. We filmed a video. You may have seen the incident with this guy rolling up to me and be like, "Can you stop your drama here?" Which was hilarious, by the way. A couple of minutes after we finished filming that video, there was a notification on my mother's phone. I'm sure you've all seen these videos on TikTok where it's a fake alarm of World War III going off. But literally everybody here got a notification on their phone that there's a World War I or World War II bomb that was found in a village 30 miles or 30 kilometers away from here. And that was actually quite shocking because for a second there was a little bit of fear in me, and then I realized gingers don't have souls, so no need for me to worry about going to hell or heaven. That's already been predeterministically chosen for me. But actually a notification on the phone that said, "Oh, World War II bomb found," and it had this sound. First I thought it was going to be a fake or a spam message because I've seen these videos on the internet of people faking that stuff, but then actually seeing it in real life was quite interesting. Anyway, back to the point. And this is how you can shift subjects. Obviously it goes a lot deeper, right? If you want to learn how to do storytelling in detail, just apply for a free call and we can have a conversation. Storytelling is something that I teach in detail in my coaching program. It's really, really an art, especially learning to tell your stories, not somebody else's stories, your stories, what makes you unique. But this is how you can switch subjects. You just go anyway, boom, and you go back to the original point instead of just hammering this one conversational thread too long, because she'll consider you to be a one-trick pony. I used to do this in the beginning. I would be in bars or pubs in Ireland and talk to ladies about IT infrastructure because I was working for a big IT company at the time, one of the biggest in the world. And they'd get bored. "Oh, what do you do for work?" "Well, this or that. Have you heard of that?" And then I get lost in technical IT details, and they say, "Can you just be a little bit more fun?" Or they would leave me, and then 10 minutes later, I saw them making out with some other dude who had the IQ of, I don't know, a lightly toasted piece of bread, perhaps. Or so. How's the joke? I think Ben Shapiro says it. He goes, "If you were to channel that dude's intelligence into electricity, you'd be able to toast a piece of bread lightly." Isn't that a disconcerting thing sometimes when you see men that are evidently less capable, less competent, less successful, less kind than you, who are doing better than the women? Why is that? Well, because they have better communication skills. Now, some of them are dickheads. Some of them are pieces of shit, and you don't need to become an asshole or a fuckboy at all. That's not necessary. But they do certain things right in their communication. Anyway, that's what was happening to me. That's why being able to shift from one conversational thread to the other is important. Coming back full circle to the bragging thing, you don't want to brag. If you want to find the right girlfriend, life partner, or wife, then understand that inherently her value system won't allow her to even perceive these things. Women who notice fancy things, who ask you questions about how much money you make, your job, not your job in terms of the activity, because that's interesting, but your job in terms of the financial rewards that it brings, those are huge red flags, and you want to stay very, very, very far away from that. Let me answer one more question. See what we got. Should you approach a woman walking on the street after dark? Generally speaking, no, because it sounds a bit weird, but it depends. Are you outside of a bar or club? And remember, you don't ever have to go to bars and clubs, and you don't have to approach women on the street at all to find the right woman. It's not necessary. But if you so let me rephrase this, or let me just take a different angle on this. If you happen to be in a Whole Foods, if you happen to be in a sports clothing shop, if you happen to be in a gym, if you happen to be in a Starbucks, if you happen to be wherever you happen to be, and there's a lady in front of you, why wouldn't you want to approach her? Why would you want to miss that opportunity? Because there's a high chance, probably statistically impossible, that you haven't missed your future wife. Good news is there's not only one right one, there's plenty of right ones. The percentage, very low. Total amount, rather great. So you still, even though there's a rather great amount of women, but the percentage is so low that if you have an opportunity to go and introduce yourself, there's a duck. Hello, let me see if I can film something from my phone so you can see the perspective. Hey buddy, hi, there's me, what's up? I'm gonna have somebody edit this in. Well, let me edit it in like this, that might be better. Boom. Hey, what's up buddy? They think There's food. But we ain't got no food. By the way, don't feed ducks bread. Don't feed ducks bread. What happened? Did she bite you?
Oh, my hair.
She bit your hair? That's hilarious. Let me film that. Stay there, babe. Don't move. I'm gonna put you in the video. Yes, she bit you. There she is. Hey. Hey, don't bite Fernandina. No, that wasn't for you. That was for the duck. She bit Fernanda. You okay? Did she like pull your hair or what?
No, he was like, you know,
He?
side. He or she, I don't know.
What is a duck in Portuguese?
He.
It's a he?
Yeah. It's
In German it's female because ducks are weak, right? Like strong animals in German are he. That's probably not even true. Going back for a circle. So yeah, you don't want to miss these opportunities. The main reason why you don't want to miss these opportunities is because it lowers your self-esteem. If you as a man see an amazing woman walking by, or at least from the outside, because you don't know anything about her personality yet, it decreases your confidence to not do what you know you should be doing. Confidence comes from doing the hard things. The good thing is, once you leave your comfort zone, eventually these things become part of your comfort zone. But you have to go through a process called progressive desensitization. You can't expect yourself to be able to pull off a spontaneous approach like that without the right mindset, without having gone through a process of doing it regularly, because momentum is very real. If you just work, gym, and then that's it, well, how are you supposed to, or maybe a little bit of social activities, but if you haven't gotten used to introducing yourself in a respectful and effective way, how are you supposed to be able to pull that off spontaneously when you're standing in the beef jerky section in Whole Foods? You're probably not going to be able to do that. So there has to be a degree of consistency regarding your socializing activities, at least for a short period of time. And remember, you go all in for a short period of time, and eventually you find somebody who's worth spending your life with. But regarding the Instagram question, yeah, don't approach women on the street at night in the dark. If you happen to be standing right outside of a bar or a club, well, then obviously you can introduce yourself, but most of the time that's not necessary. Another question, how can I avoid her? That's interesting. How about blocking her? A little note on that. When I say that if it doesn't go well with her, that you should block her. Obviously, it depends on the context, right? Feel free, by the way, to send me a DM on Instagram. You can do that as well if you happen to have a question. Very happy to answer you there as well. You just block her, not because you're trying to get one over on her, but because it creates mental clarity and mental space. You need to learn to move on. And as long as she's lingering somewhere there, as long as you can keep checking her stories, checking her posts, who's she with, perhaps she tags another man, whatever, is more difficult to let go. So if you're trying to get over somebody that you recently dated, that you've been trying to date, just block that person and move on. It's very, very simple. There's plenty more questions that I could go into right now. I think that's good for today. I know it was a little bit random, a little bit different. Usually it's a bit more of a one-topic approach, but I'm sure there were valuable lessons in it for you. Again, send me a direct message on Instagram, contact the email address, apply for a free initial consultation call, check out the podcast, or if you listen to this on the podcast, check out something else. Look guys, life can be absolutely beautiful if you have the right people in your life. Science is clear. Relationships are the #1 predictor for happiness. Relationships. High quality male friendships and an amazing woman. And people sometimes think, oh yeah, but there's women who are physically attractive, but who have a trash personality, or women who have an amazing personality, but they're not that attractive. Some don't feel that pull towards them. And that's just a false dichotomy. There are women who are physically very attractive, and chances are you don't want a top model, but you want somebody who takes care of herself physically, with an amazing personality, somebody who has the same values as you. They exist. Take some action. I want you to take what I'm giving you here in these YouTube videos, these TikTok videos, these reels, on the podcast, and I want you to take action, because you can keep thinking about doing the right things, or you commit yourself. At some point, you just gotta make a decision, because the only resource you're not gonna get back is time. Money, you're gonna get back. Emotions, your self-esteem, that can take a hit. You can rebuild that. The one thing you're not gonna get back is time. And this is not supposed to create some fake urgency. Relax. But also, wouldn't you rather get the great results now? Why would I wait 5 to 7 to 15 years to get something fantastic if I can have it now? And it's not now today, but in a couple of months. It's absolutely possible. For some of you, it's gonna be a month or two. For some of you, it's gonna be 6 or 12. But it's absolutely possible. Look, I want you to take some action, and looking forward to speaking with you soon. Take care.